Hey, it's Meatball.
And Mark.
And this is the Rocker Morning Show on demand from 107.7 RKR. 107.7 RKR. It is the Rocker Morning Show with Meatball.
And Mark Frankhouse.
What's up, man? How you been?
Doing good.
Yeah. Get up to anything last night?
Yeah. Getting ready for the weekend, buddy.
Oh, man. It's going to be a fun one.
It is. We got big things happening this weekend.
That's right. Tomorrow we're going to be out at Warner just for a fun show. Is that the Van Halen
That's
tribute?
the Zeppelin.
Zeppelin tribute. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
perfect.
Awesome. Coming out of Zeppelin there. So, yeah, Zeppelin tribute tomorrow night at Warner Vineyard. Just going to be a fun show. Nothing too big there other than just a great time, great drinks, great food. That'll be a ton of fun. I'll be out there for that one. And then Saturday, man.
We're going to be out there. We're giving the rocker rides away, man.
Yeah,
Somebody's going to be getting behind the wheel of one of those beautiful trucks. So we're going to have to wait and see who wins.
It's going to be a ton of fun, man. It's going to be fun. I've been trying to keep my spirits up this week because I know we've got that going on Saturday. But last night, I was reminded how awful things can get over time.
Yeah.
The VMAs were last night, the MTV Video Music Awards. You used to watch those, right?
Yep.
All right. They suck now. And I know like everyone's going to be like, well, yeah, there's no music on MTV anymore and blah, blah, blah. No, you can host an award show right now for music and stuff. They just suck all around. I know, let's see. There were some things, I guess, to keep an eye out for. Eminem was up for Best Video, didn't win that. Best Artist, didn't win that. He did win Best Hip Hop Song and Video, which was great.
Was that for the Houdini?
Yeah, for Houdini.
The one that samples Abracadabra?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so he won for that. And then I think Linkin Park was up for Best Alternative category. They didn't win, though they were performing last night in L.A., which was kind of funny. Best rock category was interesting. Keep in mind, this is 2024, and the average age of that room was probably like 23 or something.
Yeah.
Your nominees for Best Rock category in the MTV VMAs in 2024 was Bon Jovi, Green Day, U2, Lenny Kravitz, and then Kings of Leon and Coldplay.
So basically what it was in the early 2000s.
Like the year 2000.
Yeah. I was going to say.
Maybe even late 90s, man, because you got Bon Jovi, Green Day, U2, and Lenny Kravitz is 60 years old.
Yeah, he's really paving the way. This up-and-comer Lenny Kravitz is really taking the rock world by storm.
Yeah, so like the average age of every nominee was probably like 25. And then the average age of the rock category was about 55. It's just insane. A couple things to note, I guess, from it though. Eminem opened the show. He did he walked in with a bunch of Slim Shadys like he did back in the day.
Yeah.
From the early 2000s, which was kind of fun. Then he performed with LL Cool J, which was awesome.
You know what's interesting to me? And I'm curious if this happened. Maybe we'll hear about it.
Okay.
The last time ICP saw Eminem was before he was even known.
Yeah.
It was when he put their name on a flyer. And they were like, why did you put our name on a flyer? And said, ICP will be at my show. In parentheses, maybe. And that was the last time they had seen him. ICP was at the VMAs last night. Did you see that?
Oh, no.
Oh, my gosh. They looked amazing.
Oh, no. I haven't seen that.
And so I was curious. I was like, that was the last time they saw Eminem. That was in like 96.
Yeah.
I wonder if they bumped into him and like just kind of, because they had already squashed everything because they were feuding back in like 99.
Well, yeah. Everyone was, both those guys were feuding with everybody.
Yeah. But they've been cool ever since. So, but they've never seen each other. So I'm curious if they ran into each other last night.
That would have been more interesting than anything else that happened.
I know.
Like, I think the most exciting thing that happened was one of the performers made out with an alien on stage. And,
oh, boy.
We saw that when, like, Christina Aguilera and, was it Britney Spears made out on stage at one time?
Madonna.
Madonna, that's what it was, yeah.
Yeah.
Woo. Like, we need better award shows, man. VMAs especially, because that's when some people were supposed to, like, go wild, you know?
Right.
They used to, like, destroy the speakers and guitars and climb on the sets and try and tear them down, like... do you remember Howard Stern came out as Fart Man one time? That was really funny. Sacha Baron Cohen landed his ass on Eminem's face while he was flying over the crowd dressed as Bruno one time. Like, that room used to be filled with like rock stars and that rock star attitude. And I just, man, I wanted to go to the VMAs so bad. And now I would much rather go to the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards.
That would be awesome.
You know, I would rather listen to thousands of children screaming that high-pitched shrill for 3 hours just to watch grown-ass men get slimed and receive a little orange blimp or surfboard trophy than go to the VMAs now. Like, that's...
I would love one of those orange trophies.
I know. And like, people are going to say, oh, you could hang out with, like, Post Malone and Taylor Swift. Like, no offense to them. Like, they're probably nice people. I would still, instead of going to the VMAs... I would still rather watch Chris Pratt get slimed while hanging out with little Timmy and Sarah. And that, okay, that didn't quite sound right. Because I don't want to just hang out with a couple of kids. That's, their parents can come too. How's that? I can hang out with Timmy and Sarah and their parents can be there, and we can all get slimed together in the front row.
I don't know if you're making it any better.
I'm really not, am I?
77 RKR. It's the Rocker Morning Show with Mark Frankhouse.
And Meatball.
Meatball, when we, remember when we tried to guess the jingles during International Jingle Day?
Oh, last year?
Yeah. Yeah, there was a jingle I played. I want to revisit because someone just made the claim that they're coming back.
It's always savings time at Farmer Jack.
Oh, yeah.
More money back. Yeah, it's always savings time at Farmer Jack.
Yeah, I remember that one.
So Farmer Jack is somewhat forgotten because when we think of like Michigan grocery stores, we think of Meijer.
Oh, yeah.
But back in the day, Farmer Jack was a strong rival, man. I vividly remember the rotisserie chickens that were just...
There's something about like those
point.
There's something about those like grocery chains, and I don't know how big Farmer Jack was, but like their little rotisserie deli chickens they did were always awesome.
It was sizable to like Aldi,
Okay.
maybe a little bit bigger actually, or maybe like Kroger, but we don't really have those
At
on
least
this side.
regionally.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Farmer Jack was actually started way back in the early 1900s. It went actually through like 6 different name changes, I think, until 1987 they landed on Farmer Jack, and it stayed that way until they folded in 2007. You can actually check out some of their history now on this story on the 1077 RKR app. But recently, someone made the claim that Farmer Jack was going to be hosting a pop-up farmers market.
Ooh.
Where it all began in Detroit's Eastern Market.
That's cool.
So, like, thousands of people are sharing this, like, oh my God, you know. So everyone's getting pumped for this, including our boss, Mary, who's part of the Woo crew on First Beer of the Weekend.
Woo!
Shares it with us on our little page. And I had to remind her that what she shared was originated from the Wayne County Wire.
No!
A satire site.
No! You're telling me that it's fake?
Yes. Sadly, for us, Farmer Jack is not coming back, and people took the bait.
I wanted to have the Farmer Jack experience, you know?
I want to know, was Farmer Jack over here? Because like I said, I grew up on the east side of the state. I grew up in the Rochester Hills. I want to know if you're listening. Let me know if there was a Farmer Jack over here. 978-1077. And maybe if everyone pitches in $20 to me, I'll take that money and invest it in bringing back Farmer Jack with gambling, sports channels on the TV, and a bar. In fact, forget Farmer.
It's time to turn up your dials and tune out the traffic because we're playing the Daily 5 on the Rocker Morning Show. Testing the mental magnitude of your favorite morning monkeys on the radio. And now, your hosts for the Daily 5, Meatball and Mark Frankhouse.
It is the Daily 5 where Mark and I ask each other questions. The other one answers. Today, Mark is asking the questions. I am answering. I got some help on the line from our good buddy, Casey Bob. What's up, buddy? How are you?
Hey, we're doing great. How are you guys?
We are doing fantastic, man. You got to help Meatball get 3 out of 5 questions correct. If you do, he will win for the week, if I'm not mistaken, right? Or will it be a tied game?
We'll go 2-2.
We'll go 2-2.
Yeah.
I'm up 2-1. So let's see what we can make happen here.
Yes.
Let's go.
Question number 1.
I don't think either one of us have won this week. So.
Right. Entertainment. How many squares are there on a checkerboard? 64, 180, or 204?
1, 2, 3,
I'm counting in my head.
7,
64,
I'm saying 64.
180, or 204.
It's 12 by 12. Is that right, Bob?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be 144 then. Wow.
Oh my gosh. I'm trying to think like chess too, because it's the same number. It's the same number as chess. I'm trying to count the figures across here.
Every other color. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm thinking there's like 16 across. I don't know, man. My initial thought was 64, but
I think you're right. I think it's 64. I'm pretty sure it's 12 by 12, and I'm pretty sure the answer is 64.
that'd be like 4 blacks and 4 reds going across, which seems right to me.
Yep.
So
All right.
that'd be 16. Yep.
Let's do it. Let's go 64. Final answer.
64, final answer. If you follow the 8th square pyramid number, it is 204 total squares on a checkerboard.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Look at that.
Oh. I thought you meant like individual squares, not like bigger, like 4 equal 1, 80. Oh.
How many squares on a checkerboard? I figured you would have picked up on it considering the numbers were obnoxiously large.
Well, it's very early and I have not had coffee yet, Mark.
That's understandable. Geography.
I'm not thinking in 3 dimensions yet.
What percentage of Australia is desert? Is it 70%, 75%, or 80%?
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yep, it is.
The only like major cities are on the coast, and there's only like 4 or 5 of those. I would venture to say it's on the higher end of that, Bob.
Yeah, I was going to go middle of the road if nothing else, but middle or high, either way.
You know what? I'll tell you what, let's do middle of the road. And if that's the case, that's kind of the mindset he might be in today. If he goes high or low, that might help us figure out some stuff moving forward. What do you say?
All right.
All right, let's do middle of the road. Final answer, 75.
75,
Yeah.
final answer. They say 70% of
70%,
Australia
Oh, God.
is all desert.
Man. Okay, all right. So lots of checker squares, less on the desert. So we're high and low.
Geography again. What was the last country to be discovered? Was it New Zealand, Palau, or Eritrea?
What?
New Zealand, Palau, or Eritrea?
Eritrea. I've never heard of those last
Eritrea.
two.
Or maybe it's
That last
Eritrea.
one, yeah, I haven't even heard of that one.
How do you spell that?
Eritrea. New Zealand, Palau, or Eritrea? Eritrea.
Eritrea. I've never even heard
Sorry,
of those.
Meatball,
last
you're alone on this one.
two.
I haven't got a clue.
Part of me wants to think that Mark just made up those last two.
These are, no, Palau and Eritrea are actual countries.
They are, huh?
Yes.
Wow.
No joke. No fooling there.
Last countries discovered?
I gotta get an answer.
Yeah,
Well, I don't think it's New Zealand. That's been around for a while, so.
you said you don't think it's New Zealand?
This probably is. It seems like that would not be the obvious one.
Should we go obvious, Bob?
Yeah, maybe. We bombing so far.
Let's just do it. Let's go with the obvious answer. Let's go New Zealand.
Let's
Final
do it.
answer. Oh my
It was
God.
New Zealand. It was the last country
Oh, my God.
discovered.
Unreal.
I have never heard of those other 2 countries.
This is history. Which U.S. state was named by Sir Walter Raleigh after the unmarried Queen Elizabeth I? Is it North Carolina, Virginia, or South Carolina?
I'm thinking Virginia because that was huge in tobacco.
Well, his name was Raleigh, right?
Correct.
So like Raleigh, is that North Carolina? Raleigh, North Carolina?
It was spelled
That's a good
Raleigh.
Yeah, so the city is named after him.
Yeah, that would make sense.
And the other it was North Carolina, Virginia, South Carolina, right?
Yes. North Carolina, South Carolina, or Virginia.
With his name being in North Carolina, I would think, do we go obvious again?
Maybe. I know he's on the tobacco cans a lot, so
Oh, that's true.
that's what I was thinking. But yeah, I never thought about Raleigh. So
What was her name?
Queen Elizabeth? I don't know. I can't remember.
Okay. So they're like Carolina or Virginia. I kind of want to go with the obvious answer again and say North Carolina,
let's
Bob.
do it.
All
Let's
right.
do it.
Let's go obvious. North Carolina, final answer.
North Carolina, final answer.
No.
He was named after the Virgin. Queen
yeah.
Elizabeth I. It is Virginia. So
Okay.
once again, we cannot get our freaking questions right. So most likely Meatball's going to win tomorrow. We tied it up 2-2. Bob, regardless, you got tickets to the NSRA Street Rod Nationals North Show, man.
Looking forward to that, and looking forward to seeing you guys Saturday night.
Oh my gosh, that's right. You are in the qualifier for the Rocker Ride.
That's
so
right.
You can,
That's right.
Yeah, buddy.
Hey,
Yeah,
man.
buddy.
I was going to say, you could be bringing that ride with you next weekend. Who knows?
I hope so. That'd be cool.
And on top of that, he's a Chiefs fan, too. So, I mean, they're doing pretty good.
Yep.
Yep, they're looking good already.
Boy, Bob, you're shaping up to have a pretty good couple of weeks, man.
I know the guys here want me to buy lottery tickets, but I haven't done it.
Maybe don't press your luck just yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Bob, we appreciate you
fun.
playing along with us, man.
All right, you guys have a good one.
1077 RKR, it is the Rocker Morning Show with Meatball.
And Mark
Did you
Frankhouse.
see over on the 1077 RKR app what Bon Jovi did this week?
Oh, are you talking about the thing on the bridge?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh,
He was
dude.
shooting a video for one of the songs off his new album, and they took a break and he went for a walk. When he was crossing one of the pedestrian bridges over the Cumberland River there in Nashville, he saw a woman climb over the railing like she was going to jump off into the river. And it's that bridge is very high off the water where it was at. So it would have been, it would have done exactly what she wanted to have done.
Yeah.
But there is video now of Bon Jovi noticing her, walking over to her slowly. You can see that he's talking to her. And then one of his assistants kind of walks up into the conversation too. And they both talk her into coming back over the edge. They kind of hold on to her and carry her over the edge of the bridge there and essentially save her life. Like she was going to jump. She was going to kill herself.
That is terrible.
Big old hug, very close personal moment between the two there that you can see on the bridge. It's incredible stuff to watch, man.
Yeah, that's a scary situation because you're there like filming something that's supposed to be positive.
Yeah.
And then you see this and you're like, what the heck is going on? That must have been terrifying.
Local authorities hailing him as a hero. He hasn't issued a statement, but I don't know if he officially will because it's not really, he's kind of a private dude lately. And he actually works in crisis a lot. He works with the homeless. He fights hunger there in Nashville. He's got his new bar and restaurant there, routinely provides help through his JBJ Soul Foundation. And he's actually engaged in crisis conversations before with quite a few people, it seems. So it's great that he was there for this woman in this moment, like just great timing.
Yeah.
But can you imagine and I don't want to put people in this kind of mindset, but you're going to do something like that. You're set on doing, and you turn around and Bon Jovi's there. Like, I don't know what my brain would have done in that moment,
Yeah, that would have been just awful.
But incredible video up now, WRKR.com and the 1077 RKR app if you want to watch that. And of course, if you feel like you're dealing with a crisis or feeling suicidal and maybe just not so great about things, call us on the show, man. We're positive people. We'll gladly talk to you.
Yeah.
We'll have some fun with you. Or, if you need to go a little further, 988 is that crisis hotline to reach out to anybody there. And then obviously there's local crisis centers around Kalamazoo area as well. You probably won't get to talk with Bon Jovi, but it would still be a pretty good experience there for you on that phone call nonetheless. All right. It's the Rocker Morning Show. Jeff Plate on with us after 8 o'clock. Come on back. Hello, Rocker Morning Show.
Hey, Jeff Plate, TSL.
Hey, what's up, Jeff? How are you?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
We're doing great, brother. Good to talk to you again.
Fantastic as always, because we know when you call, it means we're gearing up for that season, man.
It comes around quicker every year, but it's going to be awesome once again.
Well, again, you know what time of year it is when we get to talk to Jeff Plate, drumming legend and original member of Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Welcome back to the Rocker Morning Show, man.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Well, here we are, beginning of fall. I'm sure you guys are in rehearsals and ready to go. It's time again for TSO. How many years now has this show been going on?
We started touring in 1999, so we had a little hiccup with COVID in 20, but
Right.
This will be our 25th year of touring. And
Wow.
it's just amazing. You know, I sit up there every night and look around and go, man, I just can't believe we're still doing this at this level, and it's getting bigger every year. It's really awesome.
Yeah, the original version of this show when you first started was still pretty impressive, you know, back then. But now, you know, there's fire and lasers and pyro and, you know, some Cirque du Soleil kind of stuff happening on stage now. Like, when you first started with this project, could you have ever foreseen it becoming this massive touring monster?
No, not at all. I mean, we knew we had something musically that was popular. You know, Paul O'Neill created something very unique with the Trans-Siberian Orchestra and his approach to the songs, the sound of the songs. Christmas Eve and Other Stories was our first record that we released back in 1996. But, you know, prior to that, the song Christmas Eve, Sarajevo 1224 was already a holiday hit.
Yeah.
So we knew something musically was really going on here, but I remember the very first show that we did in 1999, and here again, we had one box truck with a couple dozen lights and a fog machine, you know, and a big star hanging behind us. From that point on, I realized this really is something unique and something special, and it has just grown ever since. And, you know, now we roll into town with 20 tractor trailers full of lighting and sound and put on one of the best shows out there.
Do you remember how big that first venue was, that first show, that first venue?
I think there was 1,200 tickets sold. I'm not even sure if it was sold out.
Yeah.
But I remember myself and some of the other cast members, you know, before the show started, we looked out at the audience and, oh my God, there's kids and there's grandparents and there's people in tuxedos and there's, you know, all of the above. And there's a dude with a heavy metal kid sitting in the middle of all this. And we had no idea what we were getting into. But by the end of the show, we realized this is just connecting with everybody, and it grew from there.
Meatball, a couple of minutes ago, you mentioned fire, lasers, and pyro. Yeah. Last year, we went and saw your show at Van Andel, and there was one point where I was like, what's that falling from the sky? And I hold out my hand, and it's a snowflake, and you've got the snow machine. I was like, this is one of the best shows I've ever been to. This is so cool. You really do capture that Christmas spirit during your live shows, and this is going to be a new show paying tribute to the 20th anniversary of The Lost Christmas Eve. You guys try to freshen up the show every year with some new twists, new storylines, and new music, of course. What can you tell us about this year's performance?
So there's always a different production scheme, lighting, video. You know, we change up the set list and whatever. But as you mentioned, Lost Christmas Eve was released 20 years ago. We have not performed this particular show in at least 12 years.
Wow.
So even since then, you know, Paul had talked about revising the show and bringing it back out. And this year, Paul's family and management decided, let's do this. Let's bring this show back out. So, you know, here again, Lost Christmas Eve is full of so many good songs, and it's a really deep, heavy story. It's awesome. If you've never seen the show before, your description right there is why I tell people to come. You know, it's like,
right.
Don't look at it online. Come sit in the room, because you need to feel the show. You need to get snowed on. You need to feel the pyro. You need to see how big and cool this whole thing is. And then you'll get it. And this is why every year these tours sell out.
I actually invited my mom and dad out. We're going to go see you guys in Grand Rapids, which is the show that's coming December 8th. Detroit on December 28th, and a handful of dates relatively close to us in Indiana, Ohio, and Illinois as well. Tickets going on sale now, so get those before the shows sell out. Jeff, always a pleasure, and our first sign that the holidays are quickly approaching when you give us a call. So looking forward to the show this year, and stay safe out on the road, man.
Thank you. Great talking to you guys.
We've got more with Jeff Play over on the 107.7 RKR app right now, on demand on the Rocker Morning Show podcast. We talk a little bit more about the show, about the history of Trans-Siberian Orchestra, and really his history with the band as well. Really looking forward to this. Again, if you want more details, we've got that full interview up now on the 107.7 RKR. 107.7 RKR. It is the Rocker Morning Show with Meatball.
And Mark Frankhouse.
And Nick's in the house.
How's it going?
Good, man.
So, Nick here means we get to do our picks. We are doing our Kalamazoo Athletic Wellness Big Picks of the Week for football. Not a great slate of games to choose from.
Yeah,
college and pro. There's some okay ones out there. No huge matchups, so to speak, I guess. But we did come up with games we're going to pick this week. We're going to have Nick in every Thursday. We're going to go down some of our most anticipated games and talk about them a little bit and who we think is going to win. And I think we're going to jump right into it. Mark, let's go with your. Oh, wait, do we need to go over our scores from last week first?
Yeah, let's set it up really quick.
So we'll go through this. Initially, we had Western versus Ohio State, 38.5 point spread. Were they going to beat the spread? No.
Me and Meatball said that they would beat the spread. They did not.
Yeah.
And Nick thought it was going to be a close one. It was not a close one, so we all got it wrong.
Yeah, we all got that one. K-State Tulane. That one, K-State won. The game is closer than I thought it was going to be. But you and I, Mark, got the point. Nick, unfortunately, the only one to pick Tulane to win that one.
Yeah.
So that's okay. That's all right. Rams Lions. That was a big one a couple nights ago. Nail biter right down at the end. Mark, you came close to that final score, 28-20.
Yeah.
But all three of us picking the Lions. So of course, we're all going to get the point there. And then the big pick last week was Texas playing in the big house of Michigan. Mark, I know you love the Wolverines, but
that was ouch.
That was not
very
good.
Ouch.
It was very much a blowout. Nick actually came the closest with the score, 31-17 Texas over Michigan on that one. So I don't know. Maybe they do better against Arkansas State this week. We'll see. So
Yeah, probably not.
All right, our picks this week. Mark, we're going with yours first.
Well, we got the Lions-Buccaneers games coming up this weekend. We got the first game jitters out of the way. Lions came back. I think they found their groove. Last week, the Bucs dominated the Commanders, but that team blows. I think Lions are going to be focused, and they're going to have their jitters out of the way. And the Lions are going to roll over the Bucs 38-24.
That game's in Tampa, right?
Believe so, yes.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a little closer, but I think the Lions are going to. The Lions have gone from that point of just barely losing games to just barely winning games. They figured out a way to kind of finish off whoever they're playing. So I think the Lions win this one. Again, I think it's going to be close. I'm going to say 35-30. 35-30.
35-30.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think, Nick?
I also think the Lions are going to win. I think this is another playoff matchup from last year. We won it last year, and I think we know we can beat this team. And
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be kind of a tight game as well. So I'm going for a 28-21.
Oh, okay. All right. A little lower score. So I'm picking, I keep getting told I'm picking favoritism because I'm a Cowboys fan and I go NFC North or NFC East. Giants Commanders. And I think this is actually just a dumpster fire of a game, but I find it funny. Both of them 0-1. Daniel Jones officially a $160 million contract. He has more pick sixes in his career than touchdowns with the Giants. Not good. Commanders still not sure who they really want to be quarterback. They got Trace McSorley and Jeff Driscoll and Jaden Daniels. Like, it's a mess. So the name of the game here is who's going to suck less. I'm picking the Commanders to suck less. I think they're going to win on the run, on the ground. And I don't even know what to pick for a score. 14-10, I guess. Let's go with that. 14-10 Commanders.
14-10. That's giving a little bit more love to one side than the other. I think Giants are actually going to make this another W.
Okay.
And I think it's going to also be a low-scoring game. I'm saying 17-6 Giants.
17-6 Giants. Okay.
Yeah.
Nick?
I'm going to take the Commanders on this one. Just because I think the Giants are slowly falling apart, and Daniel Jones just got too comfortable with that contract that was not deserved.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go with let's say 7-3.
7-3. By the way, the over/under on that game is 43.5 points. None of us came close.
Don't take it.
Yeah, go under. All right, Nick, what's your game this week?
My game this week is Dolphins Bills. So this is actually going to be a game that's going to be tonight on Prime Video. Both teams won their opening game despite not playing well. It's a good AFC East matchup that possibly has playoff implications already.
Yep.
So I think that will be exciting. But I think Tyreek Hill, if he gets arrested again, that he could go for 150 plus yards and 2 touchdowns. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Dolphins 28-20.
All right. Okay. Mark?
I think it's going to be a shootout. I think the Dolphins kick that field goal at the very end and win it 35-32.
Okay. All right.
I do the flipper noise, but I can't do it.
Yeah, I think the Bills are going to find a way to cuff Tyreek Hill on the field. I think their defense is going to play well. I think the Bills are actually going to pull this one out. I'm going to say 28-20 on this one for the Bills.
All right.
Same score as me, but other way around.
Yeah. You went the other way, didn't you?
Yeah.
That's right. All right, finally, the Kalamazoo Athletic Wellness Big Pick of the Week. Both 0-2 teams facing off in Kalamazoo, and the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats from Florida coming up to Western to take on the Broncos. Nick, how you feeling about this one?
I think the guys are going to be pretty angry with the result of last week, and they're going to use that as fuel, and
Pack
they're
that
going to
fuel.
come out on fire. So that's I think it's going to be a huge blowout for them. They always play well at home. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say 42-10.
Whoa.
Ooh, big score. Okay.
Big running. See,
Okay.
I don't have Western scoring that much. However, I do think that the Wildcats are a horrible team. They've only scored 5 points in the first 2 weeks. Saturday, their only point was a safety. I do see Western stomping them, getting their first W in a big way, 24-3.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going big Western, straight up and big. They looked decent against Wisconsin a couple weeks ago. Hit a buzzsaw with Ohio State, but that's all right. That's a team that's probably going to be, playing in the playoff and a high seed later this year. So I think they still hold Bethune-Cookman to 0 touchdowns. I think they might allow 1 field goal, but I think that's going to be it. I'm going to say 35-3. Western Broncos taking that one.
Getting that first win. Hit us up on the 107.7 RKR app. Let us know your picks and make sure to visit Kalamazoo Athletic Wellness on Westnedge. Nick, tell our audience some of the services you got going on there right now.
So we do massage therapy. We do personal training. We've got these memberships that combine the two of them so you can get total body wellness. And those memberships are actually on sale through the end of September. So you can save $40 off your first month of a Wellness Plus membership.
Do
Fantastic.
it. Kalamazoo Athletic Wellness. Visit them and say hi to Nick and congratulate him on probably beating us on our picks this week.
Yeah, he probably did pretty good. And if you want to play along with us, the Kalamazoo Athletic Wellness Big Picks of the Week, you can just send us in through the chat feature on the 107.7 RKR app and play along with us and tell us how wrong we actually are. All right. Good luck, guys, for this week.
Yeah, good luck.
107.7 RKR, it is the Rocker Morning Show with Meatball.
And Mark Frankhouse.
Anymore watching the news, I feel like it's getting tougher and tougher to tell the difference between real life and satire. I can't believe we have to actually clarify this, even though it is in Ohio. Strange things happen in Ohio. It's the Florida of the Midwest, But a recent thing coming out of Springfield, Ohio specifically, saying that people are snatching up people's pets, their cats and their dogs, and are eating them.
I had
That's not happening.
well, people are posting on Facebook this one video over and over and over again of a
It's a dude carrying a goose, right? Is that the one you're talking
no,
about?
There's
Okay.
some other video on Facebook of somebody getting arrested and somebody going through a mental health issue and
completely
Yeah.
unrelated to
Yes.
what they're talking about here. Yeah.
I saw something on Facebook yesterday that took me 15 seconds to debunk. 15 seconds, people. If you remember what year you're living in, 2024. Okay,
Also-
all the technology that we have, right?
Yeah.
Someone said something about this on Facebook, and somebody commented that there's a dog meat farm in Canada, and they've got all sorts of different breeds that they raise. Here's the website, and the first thing that went through my head was like, okay, this is not going to be real.
I'm clicking on
I
this
went
website
to
right now.
elwooddogmeat.com.
No, it's Elwood's organic dog meat. It's all organic, Mark.
Yes. I went to elwooddogmeat.com and I saw that, this looks very professional. Somebody put a lot of work into making this website. A 15-second search, people, would show you that a vegan started this website to mock butchers or the idea of eating meat.
It's satire.
It is literally made by a vegan.
Yeah.
15 seconds, guys. 15 seconds.
I just can't believe the internet is people the conversations of don't trust certain outlets and stuff like that. But then I read The Onion, and there are times where I'll read like headlines on The Onion. And for those that don't know The Onion, if you see that, that is satire.
Yeah, it's like the hard times.
But anymore, I read headlines on The Onion, and I'm like, is this real anymore?
Sometimes it seems real. It really does.
But that's the problem. It shouldn't, because The Onion is supposed to be completely and utterly fake. Like, it's supposed to be completely unreal. Like, so out there and so strange that you're just going to laugh at it and go, haha, that's hilarious, you know?
Starting to become real life.
I can't tell the difference anymore.
Elwood dog meat. Yes. Try the schnitzel.
You mean the schnauzer?
Sure, same thing. 1077 RKR. It's a Rocker Morning Show with Mark Frankhouse.
And Meatball.
Meatball, did you know that we have moose in Michigan?
Upper Peninsula, right?
Yeah. They're traditionally thought of as like a Canadian animal, but there's actually quite a bit of moose in Michigan. Not likely to be seen in the Lower Peninsula. The majority of the moose in Michigan is in the UP.
Yeah.
And if you open up the 1077 RKR app, I actually found this dude who put together kind of like a graphical map of the areas that you're most likely to see moose if you're ever in the Upper Peninsula.
Okay.
I'm actually pretty stoked about this because I'm going to the UP in May. I'm actually going to the east side this time. Last time I went to the west side in
Right.
Iron River. I'm staying at Trout Lake.
Okay.
And we're just kind of going all over the Upper Peninsula.
Nice.
So I would love to see a moose. I wanted to see a bear. Didn't get to see a bear. If I could see a moose, I would love to see one in the wild. And we've actually got the best cities you have the best chance of seeing a moose in.
Okay.
And we've got this full list on the 1077 RKR app.
So you've never seen a moose, period?
Not like in the wild.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I really want to see a Michigan moose.
I've seen one when I was a kid. We went through Yellowstone.
Yeah.
And I got to see him. I saw a moose there. It wasn't a big moose. It was a younger moose.
Yeah.
But they are still, even just the little guys are huge.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of it. Basically, looking at this map, what it's looking like is if you want to see a moose, your best chance is obviously in the Upper Peninsula, and it's about southeast of the Keweenaw Peninsula. So you're looking at like Lance, you're looking at Alberta, you're looking at like Covington, Three Lakes.
Marquette looks like it's right in there too.
Yeah. So there's a large portion of land where you're most likely going to run into a moose. Another thing to keep in mind too is that these things are dangerous.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not meant to be hound dogged. I would not do that. I've seen plenty of videos of moose kicking the crap out of each other.
My favorite videos on the internet involving moose are the ones where like people are just out, and they're usually in Canada.
Yeah.
It's like people going out to get their mail or whatever, and there's just a moose like across the street staring at them or around their truck or something, and
And
just
that's fine.
Yeah.
You just let it be. Don't harm it. Don't get on its nerves.
yeah.
But if you plan to go to the Upper Peninsula and you want to see a moose in the live, there's a full list of areas, towns, villages, and cities where you have a best chance of seeing a moose. I mean, I used to see, there was this moose like way back in the day, and it was always hanging out with a squirrel, and there was these henchmen, and they were always trying to foil the squirrel and the moose's plans. I think that was at the zoo. I think that was at the Detroit Zoo.
I don't know. Your description there sounds a little rocky. I think it's just Bullwinkle.